Hey, welcome to episode 2 of Helix Station entitled Shipwrecks. Okay, so our team have crash landed on Helix Station as the last episode closed. There's a bit of bickering about the damaged ship. Percy says she'll be taking a fugitive ship as part of her fee. And Tanaka and Prendergast talk about Percy and Kane and whether they can be trusted. Percy has a panic attack about being back on the station and takes another hit of her meds. It seems whatever happened to her on the station when she was here years ago was bad enough that she needs drugs to cope with it. She calms down somewhat, though she thinks she sees something out of the corner of her eye, is put on point by Metzger, and the group starts to move towards their objective. It's determined that they need to crawl through a ventilation duct, which just happens to be full of rats that have been mutated by the radiation leak on the station. The rats are dealt with, a hole is cut in the duct, and the team press on, ending up face to face with an old security robot who blocks their path. Tanaka is a tech expert, so she tries to hack it while Percy distracts it, but she's killed by the bot, which is then destroyed by the group. They spot the fugitive's ship, but Percy is suspicious of the information that they've been given. The briefing said nothing about killer robots or mutant rats, for example. Metzger pleads innocence, saying they just need to get the job done, and they continue without Tanaka, who was killed by the robot. They find a body that is unidentifiable, but it has an implant that means whoever it was from the Black Iron prison. Metzger removes the implant, activates it, and they look at some of the dead man's memories. It turns out he was in a lab at the prison where an anomalous corpse is being dissected. Metzger again pleads ignorance. The team doesn't know what the corpse is, though they're concerned that it's been brought to the station by the fugitive. Percy and Kane don't want to go any further, but Metzger overrules their objections. They find the corpse from the video, or something very like it, and the episode ends. Now, this being episode 2, I did enjoy it a little more than the first one in some ways. There's more action in it. You see the group working as a team a little bit, even though they're antagonistic towards each other. And it's not too unrealistic that they would lose a team member early on like this. The threat of whatever this creature is established, and given that the human body they find can't be identified facially, it does plant a seed of doubt in us regarding the person's identity. Throughout the episode, and throughout much of the audio drama as a whole actually, we hear whispers from the point of view of Percy. She was highly traumatized by whatever happened here years before, but she's keeping it at bay with medication, whatever strength of will she has left, and basically through focusing on the mission at hand. The storytelling is quite simple, but that's often the case in audio dramas and isn't really a criticism. It's more a feature of the genre, really. As I say, the episode ends with them finding the monster frozen and seemingly alien, which carries us nicely into episode 3. Okay. So we start episode 3 with a recruitment advert for the UJC Defence Force, encouraging people to enlist and essentially be all they can be in defence of the system. The advert is interrupted by a group of terrorists calling themselves the Outer Way. They appear in the game as well. I think the placement of the advert here is better for the pacing of the episode, especially given that it ends with "now back to your usual programming" before the episode proper begins. The team, as we heard in the last episode, are looking at this corpse, this alien creature essentially from the previous episode, or at least what they think is an alien creature, and are understandably concerned. Could be a threat after all, and they weren't warned to expect something like this in their briefing. Again, Matsuko pleads ignorance and tells Percy to essentially stay in her lane. She's just there to guide them through the facility. The team then come across Juniper, who's a little girl hiding in a closet, and it turns out the fugitive, quote unquote, was actually her father, who was a scientist that went rogue and smuggled this creature, whatever it is, out of Black Iron Prison. She finds out that her father is dead and gets upset, while Percy has another attack and takes another dose of whatever medication she's been taking. Prendergast has a private word with Matsuko about there not being a fugitive, and Matsuko tells him information is on a need-to-know basis, but that they're there to take the corpse, or the creature, back to Black Iron, deal with the girl and the skip tracers, and no one's going to be any the wiser, basically. We cut back to Percy and Juniper now, with Percy asking what the creature in the box is. Juniper doesn't know what it's called, but she's scared that Matsuko and Prendergast are going to kill them. That seems to be her main preoccupation at the moment. She goes on to say that her father felt guilt about what he'd been doing in the lab at Black Iron, and that they had come to the station with this creature to meet somebody called Danny from the Outer Way, which is a terrorist organisation, as I said before. Percy hides Juniper, and Matsuko and Prendergast return. Percy and Kane argue with them, guns are drawn, and the creature, the corpse, the monster, whatever you want to call it, in the ice thaws out, and infects Matsuko with a slug-like parasite, I suppose you could call it, but they do manage to kill it. Matsuko then kills Kane, and the episode ends. So this again is more of an action-orientated episode. Placement of the advert at the beginning of the episode is a better choice pacing-wise, I think, while we find out about the so-called fugitive through the words of a new character, Juniper, the fugitive scientist's daughter. The idea that her father had a conscience is believable after, being involved with a project like whatever this is. And given that it's an audio drama, the death of Kane and the infection of Matsuko are acceptable pacing-wise. In a TV show, I would expect they would be spaced out a little more, but audio dramas are often faster paced in my experience. A woman called Danny is mentioned in connection with the Outer Way. This is almost certainly a reference to Danny Nakamura, a character who plays a large role in the video game. By the end of the episode then, there are just 3 survivors, Prendergast, Percy and Juniper, and to survive in this environment they're going to have to form a unit. However, whether they manage to do so or not remains to be seen in episodes 4 and 5, but for now, please like, share, comment and subscribe, and all that other good stuff, and I will speak to you soon. Cheers for watching, and bye for now.